Every woman have capacity to build a king. That's the same assignment you have on your sons. Okay, everybody, God bless you. I asked a question on the platforms. I asked the ladies, I said, do you believe your husband is your king? Do you believe your husband is your king? I believe that's the question I asked. And by the grace of God, so many of you talked your mind, you aired your view, the way you see it, the way you see things. And here is me giving you the right understanding, what you should know about the question I asked. Thank God we are able to go online and we are able to go through what every one of you said. Listen, everybody. Listen, ladies. Listen. A man is already a king. Because so many of you were trying to say, if he behaves anyhow, then the kingship in him will be taken from him. Then he's no longer a king. Listen, a man is already a king. A man is already what? A king. Now, that's one point. Secondly, listen. If you are married to a man, you have the capacity to bring out the kingship, the king nature in the man. You have the capacity as a lady to bring out kingship out of a man. By your reactions, by the way you treat him. You have the capacity to bring out kingship out of him. But if you are running on a selfish interest, you can never do that. If you are running on what you will gain, you can never do that. If you entered into marriage with a high expectation and now you are not getting your expectation, then you will be knocked out. Yes. You have the capacity, every lady have a capacity to make a man a king, to build kingship out of a man. Because some people said a man that doesn't behave like one will not be treated as one. Yes, there are listen, if you check most kings, they don't have the nature of a king. It's the throne that make them a king. It's the crown that made them a king. It's the crown that begin to structure them on how to behave. Now you are a king, you behave like this, you behave like this. There are king makers. Every woman have capacity to build a king. That's the same assignment you have on your sons. Build them as kings. But that building starts with your husband. Is somebody with me now? That building of a king build your husband as a king. Talk to him. Love him. Treat him as such. Treat him what? As such. And listen, let me give you another point. The way you see your spouse is the way you will behave towards him. So many of you when you said your husband is your husband, he's just your husband and that's all. That's the way you see things. He's just your partner, he's your husband, he's your partner. That's the way you see things. Another person said he's your husband, he's your partner, and he's your the father to your children. Yes. But do you know when you see him, when you see your spouse as a husband, you begin to treat him in that manner. Who is a husband? The person that married you, that made you a wife. And that settles it. That settles it. You begin to treat him just because he's the one that married you, he married you and made you a wife. That settles it. You begin to treat him like that. You see him as a partner. Before you know it, two of you will start sharing things. I grind pepper, tomorrow your husband grind pepper. Yeah, that's the way you begin to behave with him. If you see him as a partner, you wash toilet tomorrow you command him to wash toilet. Because you are partners. You change pampers today, tomorrow he must change pampers. You clean the house today, tomorrow he must clean. You share things, that's partnership. If you see him as the father of your children, If you see your husband as the father of your children, you begin to behave in that dimension. Your reactions will be channeled and funneled towards that direction. How? You see him as the father of your children, then that is to say, apart from the children, he's useless. You don't need him. Apart from the children, you don't need him. No. See your husband as a king and treat him as such. Treat him. Somebody said, Jesus is my king. A man cannot be my king. Listen, don't be religious. Don't be what? Religious. In heaven, there is no, a kingship is on earth. That title, kingship, is on earth. Nobody, there is nobody dragging kingship in heaven. Jesus is your king. No. Don't be religious. Stop all those things. Stop it. Nobody is dragging kingships in heaven. Jesus is your king. No. The Bible said, Jesus said in heaven, the greatest on earth is the least in heaven. The greatest in heaven is a servant. No title of kingship over there. Kingship is here. Listen, I told them online, I said, marriage is a parable that God is trying to tell us about how we ought to relate with him. Marriage is a parable. You see, the way you married is a parable between your relationship and God. Treat your husband as a king. Listen, let me tell you, many people begin to say, somebody said something that troubled me. He said an irresponsible husband is a slave. What? An irresponsible husband is a slave? That is to say, if your husband is a drunkard, he's your slave. You can beat him, you can slap him, you can send him on error. This is a woman talking. An irresponsible husband is a slave, then you can talk to him anyhow. Aye. Chai. It pains me, yeah. Another person said, if the husband misbehave, you will remove the crown. That is to say, if your husband misbehave, you can insult him. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Even when your husband is a drunkard, take care of him as a king. Pick him up from the gutter. Take him home, bathe him, give him food. If people are telling you, hey, your husband is a drunkard, shun them down. There is nobody you will treat like this that will behave negative to you. Yes. The problem with so many people is that they've done just a little. They are waiting for a feedback. Return feedback. They are waiting for their husband to do something much more better back to them. The one I've been doing, what has he done? You are not doing it to man, you are doing to the glory of God. If you are doing whatever you are doing to man, then you will not see reasons to do it. Do it to the glory of God. Do it to the glory of God. No, just imagine these people with wrong knowledge about a man and imagine their reactions. Such people will go and be insulting husbands. You are insulting your husband and he slap you. You will come on Facebook and you are crying marital violence. Am I encouraging marital violence? No, but work out your marriage with love. Know the right sweet words to tell a man. Somebody with me now. There are women that will go out there and they will slam food on their husband. Come on. That's not the nature of a woman. Go and learn. Learn. Please, if you are guilty of these things, please don't leave this platform. I asked the same question on successful marriage and relationship and on school of marriage and relationship. In one of the platforms, I gained more of negative knowledge. I discovered that women there don't know nothing. And the other one, I only had one negative result. And I knew the other one that, and the way I got more positive result, I have been there more. I taught there. That is to say, the land. I beg of you, my sister. That man, no matter if you are older than him, he doesn't provide, pray for grace to make wealth, you yourself. Tell God, give me wealth so that I can buy my husband a Rolls Royce. Say, God, give me wealth so that I can take my husband on holiday. Say, God, oh Lord, provide for me so that I can pay the house rent. Oh Lord, provide for me so that I can take my husband on shopping in Dubai. It's not only men that buy for women. Grace is upon you too. Is somebody with me now? Please, I beg of you. Treat him well. And you will begin to say, one follower of Successful Marriage and Relations told me, he says, sir, these things is true. She began to treat the husband well. And before you know it, her marriage turned around. You can do likewise. Stop insulting him. Stop slamming food. He's not a dog. He's not. Many people don't have the right knowledge